hell to worse hell. I've done extensive research on this part of the game, and it's about 10 times worse. Looking back at Crash Awake, I'll admit, things didn't exactly go as I'd planned. But don't worry, because if you weren't impressed by the game's intensity in the last episode, then you will 100% be shitting yourself this time around, if not from the game's difficulty, then because of my cognitive functions, because spoiler alert, I don't do a very good job at demonstrating that I have any of those. Moving on, apparently after last episode, Crash Awake was set to sue community house for its unspeakable crimes, wrestling with a 10-year-old girl. So we get a glimpse to how he isn't exactly staying away from his old habits. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Barry, don't let him take you to his island. Don't go down into his basement. See, you know you're fine. Not even he wants you. Okay, never mind, false alarm. Not even Wake wants Barry. I mean, look at him. His hair could be used as a mini skateboard set. You're a fucking loser, Barry. With my thoughts on Barry made clear, which will have no consequences in my future, I'm informed that the community service that Wake has been set to do involves stopping a terrorist attack in the Safari Zone. We go and check it out, which is followed by... oh. So after walking up to the Safari Zone, we hear an explosion followed by a Tesla employee fleeing from the scene. So I guess now that nobody is supporting Tesla due to my meddlesome endeavours, they've resorted to staging terrorist attacks against the environment in an attempt to rally support for them, and I'd leave them to it, but I really want to go screw them over. I track the Tesla terrorist down to stop him, and I even run into a looker at a homeless shelter, and I hastily walk past him before he can ask me for any spare change. Finally, I catch up with the Tesla employee, but oh man, am I delusional in thinking that I can defeat this guy. Tesla really sent in their best for this operation, and I've essentially just signed a death certificate by engaging in battle. That was an amazing decision. Congratulations, Play of the Year. Nasty plot. On Toxicroak. After barely escaping with my life, I'm approached by oh god, stay back. Fortunately, she doesn't view me as important enough to kill, so instead she tells me to smuggle drugs over to the local Psyduck Mafia, so I go over there, deliver said drugs before, god damn it, what do you want now? So now she wants me to deliver this very valuable item to Celestic Town, and as the good Samaritan that I am, my first thought is to take it to a pawn shop. I want $900 trillion for it. And sell it, but after hearing that I'm sending it to her grandmother, I realise I can hold her grandmother hostage for ransom so that I may pay off my gambling debts. I figured that my plan is flawless, and so I head on over to Route 210, where I encounter children who have been indoctrinated by Tesla to follow this Toxicroak nasty plot team they use, and after dealing with all that I reach a point where I can barely see Celestic Town. But not before I am stopped by Dawn, the first of 6 boss fights in this part of the game. And so you know how I said in episode 3 that people like Aaron and Ventina would be difficult for me to overcome? They don't compare to this episode's cast of individuals who want to fuck me over and watch me cry. We not only have 2 rival fights, both of which being stacked as fuck, a fight against Tesla, a guy with a bunch of pseudo-legends, but also fucking Entei. There's also some guy at the end who likes metal, but we can just ignore him. So we begin the first boss fight against Dawn, who leads with Alakazam as I lead with Raichu, so I begin with Fake Out, followed by Thunderbolt, but I don't get the kill, which allows Alakazam to... Yep, the first move I'm hit with in my gauntlet of boss fights has my Raichu falling to a crit, which is upsetting, but it's only a 1 in 16 chance, so I suppose this means that with this out the way, I'm less likely to get hit by any more crits in the future, which is the mindset that I will happily adopt so as to shed light on this traumatic moment. I switch into Omelette, who realistically should have been my lead because he's not only bulkier but also faster and stronger and smarter and better. I am better! So I take the kill before Mamoswine takes the field. Machamp switches into a Stone Edge that just misses because, well, Stone Edge, which allows me to use a Guts boosted close combat strong enough to end Mamoswine alongside its entire bloodline 10 times over. Clefable enters, so I switch back into Omelette onto a weak Moonblast, which lets me set up a Yawn but not before being nailed by a Thunder Wave, which means that I have to switch out, this time into Dinosaur, who makes his debut after I didn't mention catching him in the last episode, and he can take out Clefable with a single poison jab. Vaporeon is brought in, so I bring in Jinx. But Garbles, I see you saying, I thought Jinx went missing. About that, so after the police raided Wake's gym, they found a hidden underground storage room and just put the pieces together. I don't want to explain this. Making her debut as a way of forgetting the traumatic event she experienced, Jinx comes in on a Hydro Pump which she's immune to thanks to Dry Skin. However, Vaporeon denies this claim and states that it's the most bullshit thing it's ever heard. And so, in a state of denial, it only goes for the Hydro Pump right until it dies, and as it perishes it ponders how its masterful plan could have possibly been overcome. What the fuck did I do wrong? Lopunny comes in, but choice band Pokemon in this game can just be bullied if you have the right matchup, so I switch into Shrek on a Fire Punch before laughing hysterically as I beat the rabbit to death, all while it can't fight back. The final Pokemon, Torterra, is not something I can stay in on, so I opt for Omelette to tank a resisted Wood Hammer, but now I have to pray that a critical hit doesn't end Omelette's life the way crits have taken many before. Ironhead comes out. And we live on 13 HP, never punished. We are simply so skilled at this game, and with that an Air Slash gets the kill. Could I have played it better, you say? No. I finally make it to Celestic Town after shoving Dawn out the way and hold the village elder at gunpoint, but she's senile and does not recognise that her life is in danger, and so instead tells me to go stop some terrorists outside of a cave where the elderly people of this town perform cult-like activities. Because this act of kindness might get me into her will, I go up to the cave and... oh god fucking damn it, it's Tesla again. Why the fuck do you care about bombing some mountain village with the only places of note being a retirement home and a cultist cave describing the lore of our universe? Okay, never mind, I can see the value in a retirement home if you like a scam call center or something, but I can really not see anything happening at a cultist cave unless it's like some dismembered Pikachus being hung on the wall. I swat away the employee and make my way into the cave where the cultists have laid out some very unique artwork, but I'm interrupted by the man with no plot relevance, and because he's tired of being called out, he reveals to me his true identity. How could I have not seen this? Tesla's CEO himself, Elon Musk.
Hey guys, what's up?
He starts rambling on about mountains, capturing gods, the creation of a new world, classic Tesla things. Wait, that doesn't correlate with Tesla. Regardless, I'm challenged to a battle that I must win, and so begins my fight against the world's greatest evil. He leads with Crobat, so I lead with Apple Pie, who dodges a hypnosis in order to land a yawn, so I start going for Ancient Power, praying that an Omni Boost be granted to me for funny purposes, but I sadly get nailed by hypnosis, so I have to stay in until I wake up as Crobat also falls asleep. The battle of Joe Biden impersonations ends, with Apple Pie breaking through to connect with Ancient Power for just below 50%. So my dumbass, in an attempt to look smart, misreads the Crobat waking up on the next turn, and I just waste a turn with a yawn, which means that after returning to using Ancient Power, I'm nailed with an Air Slash before Crobat goes down. This brings in Honchkrow, whose Scope Lens and Super Luck ability threaten my entire team with strong critical hits from Night Slash and Brave Bird, so I do what I always do for threats that I don't have a logical answer for and chuck a rock at it, causing Weavile to enter the field. I switch out to Shrek after definitely not almost dying, and he can tank a nice shard and a feint stack before obliterating the Weavile with an Earthquake, and the reason why I was doing so much damage is because Drayano decided it would be funny to give this piece of shit Technician. Anyways, Magnezone enters the field. I'm looking at his moveset. Shrek is safe to send him to the depths of hell with an Earthquake. We win the battle, but because I'm a child, my lack of brain functions prevents me from coming to the logical conclusion of stopping this terrorist from running away at a walking pace, and so with that out the way, the old lady gives me the HM for Surf, which gives me access to Canalave City. I make my way out of the cult cave and why the fuck did you make me go on this fucking errand if you were just gonna come here yourself? Obviously I don't say any of what I just said to her face because I don't want to die, and so I listen and she kindly suggests that I go to Pal Park just southeast of Sandgem, and it sounded optional, but what she really meant was, you are going to fucking go to Pal Park or I'm going to have my Garchomp shove his fist so far up your arse you become the world's first living sock puppet. After this kind suggestion, I do exactly as she says and head on over to Pal Park after catching a seagull on the way over. I head on in to find Barry, who informs me that he's going to go to Canalave, and I just assume that after this point he waits for you patiently on Canalave Bridge for like 2 hours while you do this side quest. I walk up some stairs, meet some old guy, but unlike Rowan, he's smart and flees from the scene before he can be mugged, so I walk up to some British guy and inform him that I am requesting that he be gentlemanly and to allocate all our funds located within thy jacket in an orderly fashion, lest I be forced to draw my lance and best him in a jousting competition. I unknowingly just triggered a very difficult boss fight which starts with a Scope Lens Gallade with every move that has an increased crit chance as his moveset. This is made irrelevant as Omelette gets rid of him instantly, which allows for Empoleon to take the field, but I actually have the moveset of Empoleon this time. So I make a calculated switch to Shrek. A resisted Flash Cannon followed by Hydro Pump has me above 50% as an Earthquake one-shots, resulting in Alakazam, who is equipped with Energy Ball, to enter the field. I switch back into Omelette to get off a yawn, but I brought down to 50 HP, meaning I have to switch into Mrs. Pope on a resisted Psychic. This allows me to again switch, this time into Burb using Fly for a one-shot. This causes him to send in, oh my fucking god, he is an ancient deity. It goes without saying that this walking natural disaster is a huge threat to my pigeon, so I switch out into Shrek on a stone edge before firing off waterfalls until it dies, and now the main crisis has been averted. The British guy now sends in his own Staraptor, and I immediately, without hesitation, decide to Staraptor Ditto him in order to prove my Staraptor's superiority. I get off and intimidate, but my dumbass doesn't stop here, and I'm convinced that Fly will kill, but don't worry, I'm able to realize the error in my thinking process. The bad news is by that point I had already clicked Fly. Why the fuck did I... Why do I not think? I don't think. If I had a nickel for every time I shot myself in the foot, I'd have nothing because I'd spend all those nickels on buying a replacement foot. At least my Staraptor didn't technically lose because the Brave Bird recoil killed the Ditto, so I can say with confidence that his death was not in vain. That's a lie, it would have been incredibly easy to send in any other Pokemon to take the kill. Moving on, British boy sends in Metagross, so I send in Shrek and regain some leftover recovery, but I'm worried that a strong rifle boosted crit from the Titanium Tarantula would delete Shrek, so I send in Dinosaur and a Hammer Arm, and I figure I can simply launch an Earthquake and get the kill with an Expert Belt boost. Thank you. Ah, fuck. So British boy takes 2 of my comrades in this fight, and I honestly can't blame any of those deaths on anything besides myself, but again, the Metagross died to Life Orb recoil, so I kinda won, I think? I'm absolutely fuming over my own stupidity, and I'm left pondering as to how I even got this far in life with my room temperature IQ if the room was located in Antarctica, but Castle Valet Derek, that's his name, I neglected to mention that, cheers me up by handing me a cuppa. In true British fashion, I forgive this man for taking the lives of 2 of my pets and establish a great friendship, but before I can thank him, his AI girlfriend short circuit, so I decide to take my leave. Before we move on, I'd like to inform you that I work hard on these videos and would appreciate it if you subscribe, and alongside that I just remembered that I'm missing something. Oh yeah.
Did I jump scare you? Yeah, I bet I did. You coward.
Using Surf, I'm able to make my way over to Canalave, but not before the guard at the gate asks for my cup of tea, to which I politely respond. Fuck off! I am now in Canalave, and just out of the corner of my eye I can see Barry's camp that he set up after waiting for hours for me to show up, also he can have a cool entrance, so I prepare my team for him and then make my way over. I lead with Diamond to bait a Choice Band boosted Brave Bird before switching into Dwayne, and applying what I said previously about Choice Band users, the bird is brutally killed by the Reptile Rock. Breloom comes next in Barry's team. Now, if you've taken a single look at my box, you'll notice that Dwayne isn't the only rock ground type that I have, and that means that he is, say it with me, disposable. After Dwayne falls to Breloom, I'm safe to send in Mrs. Popo and land a fake out to break the sash, before firing off a Psychic to kill, which baits in Barry's Arcanine. Our trusty anti-fire type Pokemon makes quick work of the Pyro Puppy, and now Empoleon threatens with Grass Knot. Yes, I know what Barry has on his Empoleon, thank god. This lets me safely bring in Thiamon on a weak Grass Knot, and here is where I demonstrate my immense skill through the use of pure powered Choice Band boosted Drain Punch to completely delete Empoleon forever, as well as the league player who follows. But Barry's final Pokemon, Heracross, resists Drain Punch, and I can't use Psycho Cut because I'm locked in. This means I have to switch out, this time into Omelette on a Mega Horn, but this time Barry's Heracross actually has a move to deal with Omelette, so I switch back out, this time into Shrek, before he can fire off a Waterfall for around half health, as Night Slash does enough damage to where a crit would end me. I spend much time debating on how I can safely kill the Heracross without being crit, but the truth is, I have to rely on sheer luck and no skill can save me from this coin flip. And so, with a heavy heart, I command Shrek to use Waterfall and dread the consequences of my actions. So after that, I have to depart to Iron Island because apparently none of the gym leaders in this game can be bothered to actually stay in their gym, so I find them pretty easily in some shack, and then the following argument ensues. Get back to the gym. No. You lazy fuck, I need to fight you. Go into the mines. Why? To find somebody who gives a fuck. I head over to the mine entrance, but I'm stopped by some guy trying to cosplay as Honchkrow, even though he doesn't have a Honchkrow on his team, so way to commit, dumbass. Without hesitation, he challenges me to a battle where his lead Absol is obliterated by the undefeatable strategy, Choice Band Pure Power Drain Punch. My undefeatable strategy is now at risk of being defeated, however, as Salamence comes in, so I send in Bertha, Dwayne's replacement, in on a fly before a rock slide brings Salamence to low HP. I go for another rock slide, but Riley switches into Meta Growth to take the hit, but I'm confident that my bulk lets me live a Meteor Mash, and it does indeed, as Bulldoze does sizable damage alongside lowering Meta Growth's speed. This grants me a safe switch into Shrek on another Meteor Mash before killing with Earthquake, which brings in Lucario, but this dumbass loses half of his HP as I block a high jump kick, which allows me to safely switch into Omelette in order to kill with Moonblast as Riley just tries to heal. Ursaring comes in, and just like Larvitar from Rourke's gym, I'm positive that it'll use Protect in order to activate its Flame Orb for a Guts boost, so I switch into Thiamon, who almost dies from a strength that would have died if it was Play Rough, but we can look past that as Drain Punch one-shots. Salamence returns, and so I send in Shrek to use Rock Slide, and this essentially marks the end of the fight because instead of 6 Pokemon, Riley actually has only 5 plus Slaking. Yeah, I read a guide that said that, Slaking, great Pokemon to have in this game. I mean, it's truly just one of the best Pokemon you can have. It's arguably one of the best Pokemon to have. It's walled by absolutely nothing. Like, I'm just so surprised that it's not won any, world tournaments. Oh, look at that, I've somehow won. After being defeated, Riley asked me whether I want to accompany him in the mines, and after I catch my favourite Pokemon of all time, I agree and head on through. We traverse the cave only to find Tesla employees stationed at the end of the mine, which puzzles me because I thought that they were centered around renewable energy. It's almost as if big corporations lie about giving a shit about the environment in exchange for profit, but that would just be crazy. Regardless, we make quick work of them before I part ways with Riley at the end of the cave, before informing Byron that I begrudgingly fulfilled his Boy Scouts activity, and he holds up his end of the deal by pissing off back to his gym. Finally, we've completed all the side quests, and up next is the final challenge of this episode. The Canalave Gym Challenge. Not the gym leader himself though, he's actually quite easy. But the gym trainers pose a threat because I actually don't know what they're going to pull out, but I'm sure I can manage. Alright, well Beyblade was only on the team for like 2 minutes, so we can move on. I cannot fucking stress how many times a critical hit has taken the lives of my Pokemon and how many times I've bashed my own head against a brick wall in response. First it was Pineapple, then Raichu, then Beyblade, now Stewie. I initially planned a whole strategy against the gym leader, but fucking scrapped it because I can't be fucking asked to win honourably, and instead I decide to beat his ass with the following. Bronzong comes out, and I have not fucking forgotten what happened in episode 2, so without mercy, I click the same move 3 times, and after Bronzong sets up screens and stealth rocks, I begin the slaughter. Bronzong falls instantly as a brick break destroys the screens, followed by the death of Steelix, Forretress, Bastiodon, and Magnezone through the use of Fire Punch and Drain Punch, and none of them are given even the slightest chance at retaliating as Thiamon mercilessly sweeps through Byron's team. Last is Aggron, and with a Focus Sash, he at least has the chance to KO Thiamon with a crit, but like the others, he fails, and the battle
Please. There is no mercy.
is won. Part 6 is finally fucking over with. I have gone to mental hell and back. Holy shit. That was much worse than Wake. That was part 6. Thank you for watching. I will see you later.